Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
What is up, everybody? So with Nationals certainly approaching and Thunder Dragons just winning its first YCS, well, Danger Thunder Dragons that is, I thought it would be the prime time to make a video on how to exactly beat this deck. In this video, I'm going to be going in detail how to beat the Danger Thunder Dragon deck. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin. Starting off by saying, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here already, smash that like button. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. So that way I can know you guys like this type of content, so I can make more episodes of the beating series. The deck's playstyle. So, how does this deck play? Unlike regular Thunder Dragons, that's just pretty much a stun deck via the Thunder Dragon monsters. This deck pretty much does a little bit of everything that, in my opinion, is wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh today. It spams the board with constant negates. One negate in particular being Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. It's very aggressive and controlling because it does play the Thunder Dragon fusions, of course. And the deck can play first or second. Reason being, the dangers allow this deck to be very aggressive. They play through back row, and they always get their effects once they go to graveyard. So that's something to consider when playing against this deck. It is a very difficult deck to beat, but with the right cards and the right deck that you pick, you guys can definitely beat this deck. So right now, I'm about to go over a list of cards and a skew of cards a lot of you guys probably already know about, but for you guys that do not know about them, you guys are going to be in for a treat. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to be going over some tech cards for this deck. So first off, I'm going to talk about Super Polymerization. Now, this is one of the most popular cards against this deck right now. If you guys watch a lot of tournament profiles, deck profiles, players are side decking this. Hell, some players are even main decking this, similar to how they were when the when the Solomon Grace first came out. It's out the unbreakable boards, it can steal games, and it's currently at 2. There are a lot of monsters who I forgot to put in the PowerPoint that this card you bring out against the Danger Thunder Dragon deck. One in particular is the Fusion Venomanga. I have a picture on the screen, but essentially those boards that say negate, 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 you play your Super Poly, take away 2 of the negates, then you can play your board and go from there. It can literally steal games, literally, but sadly it's currently at 2 instead of 3. This should be definitely a staple for you guys going to Nationals. Every deck play it, no exceptions. It's a quick play spell. Need I go on? Kaiju's, Raw Spear Mode, and Lava Golem. I'm going to be going over each of these in detail. So first off, the Kaiju's. They're obviously some of the best cards to stop the negates in the game. Kind of wrote that weird in the PowerPoint right here, but essentially they can out anything and they're considered special summons. The only problem is a lot of the times you need to get rid of more than one monster, which is why we have Lava Golem and Raw Spear Mode. Now, the biggest issues with Lava Golem and Raw Spear Mode, you can only really run them in decks that special summon a lot. For example, Pendulums, if I was to play that deck, would be a perfect candidate for Raw Spear Mode and or Lava Golem. Other great candidates for those cards would be Sky Strikers and Solomon Grace. Any decks that can get a lot of bodies to the board without using their hard once per turn summon. The thing about Raw Spear Mode, a lot of players have been side decking this throughout the current tournament season, and people are playing around it by just, instead of spamming out 3 monsters for the first turn, going second or whatever turn, if they go first or whatever, they'll bring out 2 and save the reserve in their hand for backup for their following play. Which is why a lot of people I know is considering Lava Golem. It's old school, people don't think about it, people forgot it exists, and it takes up 2 monsters. You get rid of the 2 main negates, go Pendulum Summon, and the sky's the limit. The only thing about all of these, do not, and I repeat, do not overdo it. I've seen so many players side deck 3 Kaijus and or the Raw Spear Modes and the Lava Golems, and they bricked so hard. If you're running a deck that's very inconsistent and or a combo heavy deck, you probably can only really afford to side in 2 of these at most. I think 3 is unnecessary, but once again, you have to know your deck. So once again, I repeat, just like any card that guys side into your deck, do not overdo it. Artifact Lancea. Now, one thing I've noticed from the tournament circuit as well, going into the national season, everyone's running Artifact Lancea, and not just because of the Orcus engine, which it pretty much obliterates and stops their turn. This kind of hurts the Danger Thunder Dragon deck too. It completely craps on their Chaos plays, which are huge. If you guys played against this deck like I have, you guys already know, it uses all the Chaos engine to its advantage to get extra bodies on the board, in addition to their dangers to make those big plays like their sour yugiohs and etc. The only thing that sucks about Artifact Lancea, it does not completely stop the deck, but it slows it down. So instead of them ending on a board of like sour yugioh, negate, they might just end on a Thunder Dragon. I can't think of the main one name, the one that stops the searching, and maybe 1 negate and pass, which is a 10 times a lot better to deal with than negate. Obviously, reason being, if you're playing a good deck like Salamangreats, you can handle the 1 beefy monster pass. You can't handle negate. Same thing for Sky Striker, same thing for every other deck in the meta. Lancea is just one of the key cards in this format, and honestly, it should go down as one of the MVP cards in this current meta, just based on the fact it stops the opponents from vanishing, which is huge. Fun fact, it's also good against those people playing heroes like me. They have the Dark Law out, you can play the Lancea to help you not get screwed over by Dark Law, so it can kind of be used against you too. So your Thunder Dragon players out there, you guys should be playing this card. Everyone should be side decking 3. I'm pretty sure you guys already knew that, but for you guys that did not know that, now you know why people are side decking this card at 3, and they're bringing it in almost every game. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to nationals and some people are main decking it because it's just that good. Next up, Dinowrestler pankratops. Now, another popular card, obviously should come out to be one of the MVPs of the format. This card is very powerful. You would side deck this in, at least if I was going to NAS, I would side deck this in against that deck as well. Reason being, depending on the deck I need, it can bait the negate. So going into game 2 and 3, if I win game 1, luckily, and I know they're going to set up a big board, I'm trying to bait that negate. I'm trying to force their Red Dragon Archfiend to use their negate on pankratops so I can go off with whatever deck I'm trying to do. They have to answer it, which is why pankratops has been a powerful card throughout the meta. And yeah, it can run over some of their weaker monsters, but typically everything they put on the board is going to be higher than 2600. But with that being said, it can just, depending on the deck you're playing, it can help a lot. It's not necessarily needed coming out of the side deck, but it can help a lot, especially if you're playing a rogue deck and or a deck that just can't handle multiple negates, but you need to guarantee get one of those negates out of the way. I mean, he's a free body, Cyber Dragon, or he's pretty much a power creep version of Cyber Dragon. Nothing more to be said. Everybody should be side decking this. Moving on. Honestly speaking, winning this matchup is a toss-up. Playing against this deck myself at locals and or at a couple regionals throughout the season, and watching how this deck evolve into the monster that it is, going first ultimately matters a lot for this matchup. If you go first, and depending on if you're playing a deck like Salamangreats, Ultra Guys, if you hit a legit hand, this is the dice roll meta we're in, you're gonna win 9 times out of 10. That's the horrible, bad thing about this format. 9 times out of 10, if you go first, open up a good hand, you're gonna win. Stopping the guard dragons are huge. That's something I learned the hard way. A lot of you guys out there probably already knew this, but stopping those guard dragon plays, which allows them to special stuff out of their deck, is huge. Especially because a lot of players, depending on the type of Thunder Dragon play you guys might play, they tech in weird stuff. Like you might even play against some of the ones that tech in the that one pendulum card that say you can't use the extra deck. So be on the lookout for the guard dragon stuff. Stop those, because stopping those matters a lot. And then, like I said, your deck matters. Meaning the deck you play with depends on how you play against this matchup. Like Ultra Guys, if they go first, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna beat this matchup. A lot of Ultra Guys players are main decking things like Summon Limit to help them circumvent every deck in the meta, because they don't really need to summon like that. So if you're an Ultra Guys player, you're pretty much laughing at this deck, which is why they won in WCQ Bokum. However, on the flip side, if you're playing decks like Salamangreat, if you're playing decks like Sky Striker, you're gonna have to try to outplay your opponent. Honestly speaking, if you're playing as a skilled Danger Thunder Dragon player, you're gonna have a hard time. So just focus on trying to outplay your opponent, focus on not wasting all your resources, and you should be good. To be honest with you, that's the best advice I can give any player going to Nationals this season and maybe having a hard time with this deck. Now, for the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some good random cards to throw off the opponent, and these are some of the cards I probably would have been attacking if I was going to Nationals this year. Starting off with Mind Drain. Honestly, thinking more about this card, this is a very solid card for the matchup. Reason being, it shuts off all the dangers. They can't use their danger effects in their hand. That is going to slow this deck down a lot. They can't use their Thunder Dragon effects in their hand. Once again, gonna shut this deck down a lot. Is it guaranteed to win? No. But depending on the deck you're using, it can just pretty much get you there. Honestly speaking, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, Mind Drain might be some pretty spicy tech for the Danger Thunder Dragon deck. Next up, Artifact Sanctum. Earlier in the format, a lot of players who was using Settlement Great was attacking Artifact Sanctum in their deck. Reason being, they can bring out Artifact Scythe to stop the opponent coming out of the extra deck. That's pretty much self-explanatory. If you stop their extra deck summons, you can stun them for a turn and then focus on OTKing them. That's still a viable strategy that could work. Then of course, me being a fan of Dark Law and Heroes, Different Dimension Ground can hurt this deck too. They're still going to be able to do a big play. However, with them burning through all their resources in their graveyard, it stops a lot of their chaos plays. And if you can stop those chaos plays and limit their bodies they can get on board, you can definitely throw them off and win. So man, tell me what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Like I said, like the video if you're new here, subscribe for more. So with all that being said, once again, this is InnovationYGO, teaching you guys how to beat the Danger Thunder Dragon deck in detail. Share this video, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys on the next one.